Yeah, I want you to get trained.
Oh, you're gonna be doing too, because you're gonna be doing the opposite.
Just like you take you take Moses and the children of Israel. When they left out with more than half of the riches in Egypt.
That's right.
Because when God told Moses to tell them to go borrow from their neighbors, see, he thought they were just going outside of that kingdom temporary to come back in, but it was no. So everybody freely loan. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I learned this. I'll see Quincy next week. If I know I ain't about to see Quincy for a year, what I get at? You see what I'm saying? So everybody thought that, but when they got out and was gone, now they in the wilderness for 40 years, and they had wealth. So they left out with wealth. But now, when God says, Moses, okay, now build my house. So now people, we're going to build it with that which I told you to get.
Right, that what you had.
Now, can't let this go. Now, like, but I took you from nothing, and this was the test. So then what happened? What people don't realize, Moses didn't even go into the promised land.
No.
It was Joshua. So what God had to do was wait to that generation die off before the younger ones for the Joshua generation went in.
Sure.
We're in the Joshua generation now. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Because the Moses is like when you see our ministry, you see it's youthful. You see the kids. One thing my prophet teacher, he said, even some of the work we're doing right now, he said it ain't even for us. It's for them right there. Them is the next rulers right here. So guess what? It's like this. Drop this nugget right here. Like everything is here we go.
That be the main thing I be on with the youth, because we're not teaching the youth the things of our culture. We're not teaching them to know their purpose and how it is that they can know what it is they came here to do.
See, it's just like this. Like one thing my pastor told we do at church. My pastor said, told all the members of the congregation, probably said, y'all need to go. He said, I don't know what y'all do in y'all house, but here's what I do with mine. Everybody sitting down, they watching the whole series of Roots. And then we can get deeper, but we're going to start there. Because that's it's something that's too deep for some people.
Right. For
and that ain't even really the real story.
It's just a surface.
And, they didn't show it, but he said, boom, everybody. That's why I said sometimes it's what people at. So then guess what? You have some people like, I'm about to go get. I went on and ordered Roots and this, that, and the other. But it's a reason to probably want to do that for a reason, because it's like, let me get you up to a certain spiritual conscience. So one, you can understand why our communities is out of order. But you just can't drop everything.
I got you.
Because people get offended. It was funny. I was one of the young guys is in our mentoring group. We go on this Saturday, and my other guy, my partner in the group, he set it up because we got some young brothers that's up in school up at Jackson Community College. Because a lot of brothers, don't know that Jackson Community College got dorms and everything. So really, instead of hitting WC3, you can hit up in Jackson, separate from this environment for a minute, and get focused where you need to be before you really ready to walk into the Wayne State, the U of M's. You know what I'm saying? Right. And half of that we know is garbage. But so I got some young brothers from Dexter and Livermore just up in Jackson, like I don't even want to come back. I don't even want to come back to the D. Like boom. So this Saturday they doing something now. The same seed that I sold to them a year ago. Now they up there in that area, impacting even more poor and impoverished up in that area, because as you get out the city, you get more off into the country of Michigan that people like don't know. Like out here, this new area, this is fun. This is most of this stuff out here is new trees. You know what I'm saying? We was on my boy when we was over his brother's house right here on 21 Card. You know, his brother fat crib, 5,000 square feet. Thing about it, he said, man, you know, he said something missing. Trees. These are new trees. These trees ain't fully developed like the ones, you know, the series, you know.
Last 2 or 3 years, 5 years.
Yeah. So this is new grown. These won't even get to their full
capacity. Another couple hundred years.
Yeah, right. So it's like, wow, that's what's missing out here. Because it was,
old tree.
you know, it just, man, so, that, you know,
that's
what's missing.
Right.
You see this, you got the manicure lawns, but something is missing. So,
big trees.
So we going to take those young brothers, they up there doing their thing. So they said, you know, boom, we got Judge Mathis coming and everything. So I said, okay, I'll take the young fellas. We roll up there to Jackson this Saturday and let them see. So I had one young brother say, man, I hate him. I don't like him. Do you know him? I said, did I miss something? You know him? No, I just don't like him. I said, why you don't like him? I said, why you don't like him? Couldn't really explain why. I just don't this, that, and the other. I just don't like him. And it's like, okay.
So I don't know.
You don't really. I know what you don't like, because you may. I told him, I said, let me show you something. I said, it's first of all, you don't know the difference between TV and this. And I said, a lot of times I said, you look and think he going off on people and really is really building some people, because sometimes he just don't accept whatever. So the other brother, he was like, let me show you something. He said, let me show you when I really started liking Judge Mathis so you can see. And he showed me an episode where it was a young brother who left Oakland to try to escape the gangs in Oakland, and move east with his aunt and uncle. Then how the uncle, you know, just dogged him out. And then the boy had sickle cell anemia. So he's like, oh, he always making excuses, this, that, and the other. And then jumped him on that. And it was to the point Judge Mathis just stopped. He, man, give me some tissue. Started crying. And he started breaking the album, man. He said, here it is. You can't see that young brother doing something, trying to go to school, then ran away from the games, this, that, and the other, and all you can do is sit here and just tear him down.
Right.
And he said, when I see him, I see myself. You know what I'm saying? In this young man, he didn't left what he knew to come want something better, and you dogging him worse than the streets did. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And I mean, it was like man, but see, the young brother who didn't know, I said, wow. I said, part of it is I'm dealing with a lot of young men. This is the issue of not having the fathers in the community. So when you meet a real man, or you see a real man talking, you don't really understand how real men talk. You don't understand what real men do. So now I'm teaching these guys, because you used to mama and you're not used to daddy. You used to the hooping and hollering, this, that, and the other. Daddy don't have to holler. Daddy say, boom, it's done. There's no democracy here.
Right, it's no leeway.
Yeah, but you're not used to that. So what it is,
you're gonna resist.
You see something that you really have resistance just to say. I said, because you don't even know if, I said, first of all, where Judge Mathis, where the man is really at in life, even financially, even spiritually. On the flip side, I'm like, you don't know, you can turn around, meet that brother, he see something in you and be like, boom, there go all your stuff just paid for just like that. So, but I understood why he said it already. So now, like I told my boy, I said, we got to still keep going in, do a little surgery. You gotta do it. I told him something 2 weeks ago. With all the young men we helping, and notice none of their parents and nobody's around. I mean, we when we get them, we've been taking them out, way out. See, we get a passenger van and we out. We taking them away from everything, building them up, just like taking them to rites of passage. You taking up out. Right. Daddy, one day you get woke up and you gone somewhere.
Have to go do that ritual.
You gone, and then you come back. You see what I'm saying? When you come back, guess what? Now your house is right here. You no longer at mom and daddy's house, or they 10 or whatever. So I told him, I said, because one of the parents was just like, oh, I just, love what y'all doing. I see the change in my son, this, that, and the other. And I told him, I said, that's all fine. But I told him, I said, don't be surprised when the attack comes. Like, what you mean, Monty? I said, because of what we really teaching these young brothers, when they start looking and questioning, a lot of their homes and things is out of order. When they go back, it's going to start being some kickbacks. And mama who there, or daddy who there, who not doing nothing, whatever, then they going to notice, change came when you start being with this person. I said, so then attack gonna come. So one of the guys, he was joking. He said something to my other partner. He's like, yeah. What did he say? He said his mother or somebody said that, so and so is a pedophile or whatever. About one of my partners who doing the mentoring. He a big dude or whatnot.
Right.
Ain't no pedophile nowhere in this man bone. This is an honest brother. And he said that, and I said, I told him, I said, see, he was like, man, you're right. I said, that ain't nothing to say in jokingly, because if you wanted to joke, it was something else you could have said. But the person what they said, I said, is to try to cut you down, because they already see the changes that's happening as young men. So every time they with us a couple hours, we didn't show them boom, 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 and then now they back home, they sitting like, okay, this ain't adding up, like, okay, I'm saying what, I'm saying this, that, and that. I said, so, yeah, I told some of y'all about to separate from y'all people because y'all been taught wrong.
And it's the same thing I was saying. How you kind of brought my point home. The main thing is, if we don't get into our culture, if we don't actually begin at the roots, and I'm glad your pastor was able to pull that out, but we still have to take roots and apply it in our everyday life. All right, how are we giving this roots or whatever we got out of that movie to our youth right now today? And I'm the same thing I said earlier about somebody else that was out of directed. See, when we this like I ask you, what's your birthday? And then you'll say what?
February 10th.
All right, see, that's going to put you on their system because I didn't ask you for your birthday. Mm-hmm. So that is just the root of how we'll get out of directed. And that's always going to come up, even with your youth and they going back in their family, because if they don't know what day of the week they was born on, if they don't know their birthday, that's going to put them out of directed. It's going to put them just in somebody else's business. It's going to be a continual process in every community group that we have. If we don't address that issue to get everybody on their purpose, the root of the group is going to self-destruct because people are going to constantly be out of directed. Because they don't know what it is they really supposed to be doing for themselves.
They're hard hit. You do not have knowledge, full knowledge or complete knowledge of yourself.
Right.
Like I say, it's a hit.
Well,
and it's a subtlety that we will bypass and still think we can address the issue. But once we bypass our cultural root, because we just not familiar with that area, we ourselves don't know our birthday. So no way I'm about to be attacking this area and bringing everybody there, because it's going to bring my lack of knowledge up to for everybody to see.
It's not a strong point for me.
So that's why around Kwanzaa, people won't be interested in it because they just don't know that is our cultural moral value system. That's how we get back to our roots of who we are.
That was the whole purpose of,
and that's why you
stripping everything away and not knowing our story, but his story. You know what I'm saying? That's
why we got to get.
That's what the private conflict speaks. Boom. Just like Prophet was speaking to a lot of folks didn't realize it was like prosperity and blessings and gifts. Like you said, is nothing new.
Right.
But to the average black church, it's something new on the scene. But even when you look at some of the brothers out there and the ones who don't have what they have, they like, oh, they the criminals, they the creflos, this, that, and the other. But nobody looked at those guys, Jake's, Creflo, if you just want to look, and I don't know those guys personally, so I know what
Right,
my
we know
part
that.
purpose. But
Right.
but the thing about it, if you do the research, if you do the real research, it's mighty funny that all of them came out of white churches. Because guess what? It wasn't until they got the revelation of blessings and prosperity was nothing new. But when we go back to slavery, in that book, only it was like teach the people about heaven, but not about now.
Exactly.
So black folks is waiting for the hereafter,
Right.
because we wasn't never taught about the now, wasn't taught about the ownership about now.
Like the here and after is
Sharecropping
now.
wasn't nothing but still slavery.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? From the plantation to the plants. You see what I'm saying? So what was being taught was only a small portion until some people started realizing what the real keys is. It was funny. The prophet said he said I was speaking to my realtor from an estate that I got, and he was saying, he said, blew me away. He said the best time of our service is when we ask to give something, to do something. And knowing, because it's taught. I say, you know, but what happens is we got self-hate. So even when you see a ministry or a true man of God that's of your skin color, boom, there's a hate by even the other so-called man of God, because you don't have what they have, but yet you haven't, like you said, you don't know the keys. You just know preaching about a heaven and hell. Yeah,
Right.
that will be there when you get there. But what about now? You can't have your heaven on earth now. You can't have your cake and ice cream now, because that's inevitable. You leaving here, but if you, part of what we're doing here is for hereafter, but don't mean that you supposed to be in suffering this whole time, because I ain't gotta go to hell. I've been in hell, so how much harder it's gonna get if I'm in hell right now on earth? And like you said, you was never made to be that way. What the prophet said, you was made to speak with your mouth, not with your hands. You wasn't made to really work with your hands. People don't realize, even when you going to work, you looking at word when creation, when Adam came, everything was already
Here.
in. It was sown, so it let you know. So what month did even creation begin in? It was already in the winter. We were already in winter. So then after, if you follow the story, after the sin come on, then things start coming up.
Right.
So it's like, well, here's the season that you really was in. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden, the thorns and the thistles and all that stuff come. It's like, where all that come from? But because it was put in, it was boom.
Right. Just like the trees. Where the roots at? Where all the growth happening?
Right.
At the bottom.
At the bottom.
You got to go up top to get you some fruit to harvest. You could go dig down there all you want to. You know, you got to go up top. You talking about I'm ready to eat.
Right.
So then, like I said, we just because of the lack of the knowledge, one's ready to plant seeds. I'm all up top talking about what do I supposed to do. Shaking fruit off. I don't understand how.
Right.
Then you telling me to plant. I'm like, man, now I'm hungry. So now I'm ready to eat. You like, well, it's time to plant though. Boom, we ate this morning, or we planted this morning, but we gonna eat at 7.
Right.
So personally, myself, like, so I can just understand it. I just deal with the spirit. I'm like, I kind of see where I'm at. I'm like, I already know. I'm like, man, I'm straight. Let's serve the Creator. Same way Moses, telling my man, let my people go, bro. No, I'm not going to labor for you, bro. Let me go pray to the Creator, bro. Now, whoever's supposed to be amongst the host of heaven and the saints, after I'm finna pray, I'm supposed to be able to get some food or some housing or some clothing.